comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? It's DK Wrestler here, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a top 5 list of Carnage Funko Pops. But before that happens, make sure you press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, let's check it out. So like I said, in today's video, I'm going to be making a top 5 list of one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time, Carnage. Now, this month specifically actually marks the 30-year anniversary of when Carnage actually made his brief cameo debut in the Amazing Spider-Man comics, so I thought it was a perfect time to do a top 5 list of Carnage Funko Pops. Now, I think there was a total of 13 different Carnage Pops that fit the category for this video, which it was a little difficult to kind of break it down. But anyways, guys, let's look at my top 5 list starting at number 5. Coming in at number 5 at my list, it is the FYE exclusive Carnage with Axe as a part of the Venomized lineup. I think the way they did this pop is really, really cool. There are some Carnage Pops that I don't have in my collection, and this actually is one of them, which I don't know why I didn't get it when it had released. Maybe because I wasn't fully set on getting a full Carnage set at the time, but now, as this pop is close to, I think, $80 Canadian as of this recording, that it's going to be a little pricey at this point to get it, but I really like the detail. It's exactly the same way that the original Carnage with Tendrils that was a New York Comic-Con exclusive in 2018 was, with the way that it is made, but except that instead of the tendrils, it has the axe hands, which is also really, really cool. Carnage is known for making the different shapes with his hands as terms to weapons, and the axes are one of them, which it's cool that they ended up doing this, and hopefully very soon I can get this, maybe if the PPG and Funko app pricing goes down on this. Coming in at number 4 on my list, it is the AAA anime exclusive Spider Carnage. Now, I really like the overall design of this because it's mostly Spider-Man, but with a Carnage take. I like the idea of how you essentially have what looks to be Spider-Man's suit, obviously with the red and the blue, but then you do see the red symbiote of Carnage kind of going along that, plus taking over literally half of the mask, where you can see the kind of big eyes of Spider-Man there for some of the different designs. Like this one specifically probably is more of, I don't want to say it's the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, but that's as best as I can explain of the eye design for the Spider-Man mask. And you have the symbiote kind of taking over the bottom half, where you do have Carnage's mouth there. And I think the posing with the stand is really cool, where it's in jumping form. Maybe if they actually added like another line of symbiote where it's him shooting webs, but it's more of the symbiote, would be a little better than what it is here, and essentially would make it higher up on this list. Plus, I always like seeing different variations of Carnage instead of what Carnage usually looks like himself. Coming in at number 3 on this list is the Hot Topic exclusive Carnage, which you guys are probably thinking, which Carnage is it? Because there are 2 Hot Topic exclusive Carnages, which I am talking about the half Carnage, half Cletus Cassidy. I think this pop is really, really awesome. This pop actually recently came out within the past year or so, and I really like how they pulled this off. Unlike the, I guess you would call it the original Carnage Cletus Cassidy from the Venomized lineup, where all you see from that one is just part of the face. But with this one, you actually get a half and half look of Carnage and the host of Carnage, or at least the original host of Carnage, Cletus Cassidy, which I really like when you get the half Carnage, where it's not exactly the mold they usually do for Carnage, or at least for the older ones. You have the newer style of Carnage, but then you also get more of the aspect of Cletus Cassidy, where I think this is actually based off of how Carnage was originated, where actually Cletus Cassidy is in his kind of like jail outfit, and then you actually have the detail of the symbiote partially taking the other half of the body, and then you also get to see more of the face of Cletus Cassidy and more of his reddish hair, which is how essentially I think Carnage was started, where the Venom symbiote mixed in with Cletus Cassidy and it became red. So I really like how this is pulled off. This is one of the Carnages that I do have in my collection, which I am glad that I do, because this is an excellent looking Carnage and an excellent take on the Carnage character, where you have half and half of Carnage and Cletus Cassidy. Coming in at number 2 on my top 5 list, it is the Funko Shop exclusive Blacklight Carnage with the tendrils. I think the way this pop turned out is really, really cool. I really debated on either having this one or the original Carnage with tendrils that was a New York Comic Con 2018 exclusive on this list, because it is the same mold except it's just a different color change. With that original one, you had the normal Carnage colors that you had seen in the Axe Pop that we talked about in the number 5 pick, but this one has different colors like pink, yellow, blue, and even orange to give it the blacklight effect. The reason I ended up choosing the blacklight one over the other one, which that's kind of a little bit of a spoiler, I think it came down to not only because of how the colors turn out for the blacklight, but also how the boxes, because obviously all of the blacklight Funko Pops have really awesome boxes where essentially you don't see a trace of white besides maybe the texting in the name and the pop logo that is involved. And I really like the colors obviously used on those blacklight boxes. So I think that's really what contributed to essentially how this Carnage ended up being on the list, especially way high up on this top 5 list compared to the other Carnage Pops that were on this list. But before we make it to the number 1 spot for my favorite Carnage Pop of all time, we're gonna name one honorable mention for this top 5 list. So my honorable mention for this top 5 list is the New York Comic Con 2020, I believe it was shared with Hot Topic exclusive, Red Goblin. Now technically this is not Carnage, but it is at the same time, because obviously Red Goblin was created because of Norman Osborn, who is Green Goblin, had bonded with the Carnage symbiote to create essentially a red version of the Green Goblin, like you would see in this Funko Pop, where essentially it is just his normal Green Goblin self, but it's more of a red and black and other Carnage color take, including with the way that the glider is, which I think this thing has a ton, and I mean a ton of detail compared to a lot of not only Carnage Pops, but a lot of Funko Pops overall. I like the way the eyes just pop out there with the yellow. You even have the red going with the black and the white, and even the orange with the head sculpt, which I think is awesome. And even the way they made the glider and how even the kind of front of the glider has its own like symbiote face is really, really awesome. And then even kind of like those little venomized Green Goblin explosive bombs there, which is really, really awesome. I do own this pop, and I'm glad to have it in my collection, obviously, to try to get that full complete set of Carnage Pops that I'm kind of failing miserably, but I'm not, because I'm like halfway there. But I definitely had to make this an honorable mention just because of how great this pop looks. So coming in at number 1, my absolute number 1 favorite Carnage Funko Pop, which I do have this Funko Pop in my collection, and like I mentioned, it is my absolute favorite. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. It is the previews exclusive Absolute Carnage on Headstone Pop Deluxe. This thing just has a crazy amount of detail. I really like kind of the design that's going on with the head sculpt, although it isn't one of my favorite head sculpts out of the Carnage Pops in my opinion, but the rest of the pop really takes the cake on why this also is my number 1 pick. You have a really cool stance with the Carnage Pop and kind of the tendrils just kind of going around in different places, and even the detail with the headstones itself, where you have essentially different characters and they are popified. Like you got Rogers listed there, which is obviously Steve Rogers, Captain America, Logan being Wolverine, and then you got Eddie Brock, which obviously is Venom, and then Peter Parker being Spider-Man, all with their kind of head sculpts in pop form in the headstones, and even the popified red skulls as kind of the base there to go along with that to make it a little extra creepy, which is so great. And especially buying this pop at full price is probably just worth the money to get. But even if you got this on sale for a certain price at a certain retailer, then that is such a steal, because there is so much bang for your buck as terms to this Carnage pop, which is why this is my absolute, no pun intended to the name of Absolute Carnage, favorite Carnage pop that Funko has made. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video on my top 5 favorite Carnage Funko Pops, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below and let me know your favorite Carnage Funko Pop that Funko has made thus far. And like I said earlier, press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching today's video and hope to see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here. Follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Popcast. If you want to check out some of our other content that's featured on our channel, you can click either the playlist that's on your screen right now featuring previous episodes of our weekly podcast, A Funko Popcast, or we have suggested a video for you guys in relation to today's video.